Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today is such an exciting day because we're going to be reacting to AKMU on Dingo 킬링보이스. This incredible duo, actually a sibling duo, is something that I've been eyeing for quite a long time because I have reacted to them a couple of times on my Patreon because you guys requested it there. But I've never really got to dive more into their songs and their repertoire, so I'm so excited that they've done 킬링보이스. Also, they are promoting their new song that is called Lovely. So if you haven't heard that song yet, definitely go and check it out and support their release. And if you would like to see more of my reactions to AKMU and my analysis, definitely go and check my Patreon out. It's gonna be linked down in the description. You're gonna find many more reactions and analysis over there. And now, without any further ado, let's look at AKMU and their 킬링보이스. Let's go. Look at the cuties.
Merry Christmas.
I like the outfits.
안녕하세요.
We've got Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
네, 2년 만에 저희가 컴백을 하게 돼서 드디어 기다리던 딩고의 킬링보이스에 나오게 되었습니다.
Oh,
킬링보이스에 먼저 나갈지.
Don't get me wrong. I know her very well as a singer. Oh, well, very well. I've heard her multiple times as a singer, but I'm not that familiar with his voice. I think mostly that I've heard his voice was kind of in the harmony with her. I don't think I've heard him necessarily too much solo.
기다려주셨는데 저희도 되게 기대가 되고요. 그간의 저희의 역사들을 빠르게 불러드리도록 하겠습니다.
They're so cute.
네, 선곡하면서 굉장히 재밌었고요. 어떤 곡부터 할 거냐면
They will include their recent comeback, which is called Lovely. I'm excited to hear that one. All right. Let's see if we can fix the audio a little bit.
Let's go.
아침에도 내가 뭘 했는지를 몰라. 아니 내게 아침이란 게 있나. 아마 12시쯤에 힘났었지.
달력을 보니 오늘
I love how, I know they're siblings, but the amount of respect they have for each other, like the entire time he was singing, she was like literally like, him, look at his shine, look how amazing he is. It's so adorable. He has a very pretty husky voice, which I see how it's gonna play beautifully off of her tone quality. If you do not know her and her voice, it's beautiful. It's one of those gorgeous, angelic tone qualities that are just, oh, so pleasant to listen to.
오늘도 우리 점심은 라면인건가.
I absolutely love their voices together. It's playing so beautifully. He has a little bit of a different singing style, especially when he works with his dun, 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 dun. You can hear that he has that kind of like a underlying breathiness. So a little bit of the resistance and then immediately letting go of that air. And he's utilizing that air pretty obvious. So while on the other hand, she's got a very consistent, clean tone all across her singing. And she's pretty well known for that. Her voice is really pretty to carry. And it is lighter and it's very sweet. So consistency and clean tone is something that works for her really well.
라면 다 끓였다 이런 거 했었던 것 같은데.
They're so cute.
아이 귀여워.
이 노래 저희 정식 데뷔 전에 나왔던 드라마 OST I Love You. 네?
I was looking at that t-shirt and was thinking like, where is that from? Because it's so just adorable.
저 저절로 내게 눈이 가 네가 입은 옷 무늬가 눈에 띄는 것도 아닌데 온종일 다른 일을 하고 있는 중에도 이 사람 참 괜찮단 말이야
하나하나에 내가 들렸다 놨다 해 나 이리 자주 웃는 사람이 아닌데 돌아보면 너 때문에 당한 것도 많아 그 모든 게 하나하나 다 싫지만은 않아
I love you
When you have a duo, you have to be really smart about the vocal arrangement. You don't want it to be too plain. You want it to be playful. You want it to be fun. But you also have to be mindful of not creating too much chaos. This is just the amount of playfulness and kind of intertwining of the voices that I would love to see. It's really, really fun. They're not doing like a full harmony and long phrases. They're just kind of like intercepting and kind of creating that additional color scheme on top of the other voice. It's so, so sweet. But again, I think AKMU is probably the most known for their really brilliant vocal arrangement between two people, which again, not an easy thing to do. You're not having 6-7 voices to work with. You have 2 voices, so you have to be really, really creative. And this is a great example of that creativity. Those little ad-libs. Good work with aired. You want to have a really, really stable breath support for that one. You don't want it to crumble. Where are we going? So it has to be really, really stable. You have to have a very, very good access into your first mix or head voice, but nothing that can really get stuck. So if you would try to strain that, it would sound really, really bad. It would be very, very slow and it could get very unstable. So you've got to know where you're heading with those higher tones exactly. Either into your head voice, it could go there, but they're not doing that. They're mostly staying in their mix. Tons of agility. You could hear that little slight you, a little bit of a riff, a little bit of a run, old fun, old good fun. I really like her voice because she's got a very good access into her mix, into her head mix too. It's very consistent. The tonal quality throughout her register is very consistent. She's very similar to IU singing style with this. And, you know, I'm a huge, massive fan of that. I think it's really impressive when they can really create a consistency across the whole range. I'm not saying that getting a lot of contrast in your different registers is not fun. I think it's great as well. I've got that. But being so incredibly consistent across the register with the color, so it almost feels like you cannot even assort where they're still on their natural tone, where they're mixing already. It's really, really, really cool. There's a lot of control over the voice there. Oh, I've seen this song being covered, right? Oh my God, who covered it with Lee Moojin? I saw the cover of this song on Lee Moojin and I fell in love with this song. It's so adorable. And when I've heard it was by AKMU, I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense.
너를 본 내 마음속에 사랑해 내 본능이 고백 빨리 하라 해 내 주위를 둘러싼 수많은 경쟁자 Yes, I'm a soldier for you 스윗 멘트 장전 발사하기 전에 최근 그리 풀었나
Yes, 완전 간장 공장 공장장이 버스간 공장장 아침에 깨는 소리 morning 바람
this is the cutest song I've probably heard. It's so sweet, it's so playful, and I really, really love, again, their vocal arrangement. abilities in this are like really shining because they've done this kind of like a voice play idea where you play with the different vowels and consonants to create a little bit of a tiny bit of a voice play. So that boom ding ding boom ding ding boom 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 boom. It is beautiful. It's so much fun too, and they've took it from the genres like jazz, where you have a little bit of an impro. We have, for example, in musicals, it is used to like kind of improvise or like kind of like embody different instruments. This is the playfulness that you very rarely see in pop. Boring. It's boring out there without AKMU. This is kind of like that creativity and fun that is so rare because not everybody has that ability to do that. It's so much fun. Oh, look at that access. Coming you to such a pretty tap in her upper register. So pretty, so resonant. You could hear that the voice was so bright there. And in a lower voice, we can hear a fry here and there. Just a tiny little bit here now.
Hey baby, it's coming your day. Hey waiter, it's coming last week. It must be a lonely 200% sure of it. I want you, really, I'm really stupid.
That was gorgeous movement across her vocal break. You could hear it, super effortless, just tapping into her head voice, but without any obvious vocal break there whatsoever. It was very jazzy, actually.
자, 이제 다시 차분하게. 이 노래는 라이브 하는 일이 별로 없어요. 근데 딩고에서
So again, that song
희귀한 영상을
has my whole heart.
보내드립니다.
So much fun.
맨발로 기억을 거닐다 떨어지는 낙엽에 그간 잊지 못한 사람들을 보낸다.
There's quite a lot of air there. She's softening it up. It's a beautiful intro into it. You can hear it being really cushioned with air, very, very heavily. But her movement is so effortless and pretty. She's going a little bit, pressing the sound forward and going up. There's a little bit of a resonant space behind the nose that, especially with the Korean coaches, they do love to teach their students to direct their resonance there a lot because it does elevate a little bit of a pressure through the passaggio and it's getting it more consistent. So it's so very pretty. Also, I like this kind of like airy voice for her as well. It's just her tone quality can handle everything. Super clean tone, a little pressed even, up to really there's like a half air, half clean tone. She can carry everything. So pretty. A little tremble. Beautiful microdynamics. You can hear the very, very light onset into that gorgeous tone there. Literally the whole sun started to just shine into my room when she started singing. That's what AKMU voice does. It's really, really gorgeous. Okay, I fixed the camera and the lightning, even though it's full on beautiful sunshine in here now. Let's continue. love the tremble in her voice. That release, it felt like there's gonna be some more into it finally, or like just some climax after this. I've got to go listen to that song. I really like the way she handled the dynamics throughout the song. It was really pretty how she worked with her air, a little bit of a cleaner, heavier notes in her natural tone. And the moment that she ascended into the passaggio or higher, she immediately mixed it with a little bit more air. But the fluctuation was so pretty and so soft. Really nice.
사람들이 움직이는
Okay. I like the harmony lived there. It was a lot of fun. It was very, very caressing. The voice play again.
이수현
어릴 때 내 발도 정보니 완전 꼬맹이 후회하고 지금 퓨처를 보니까 싶은.
There's a lot of speech quality in here. What I like about AKMU too is that not only the voice play, so they utilize a lot of different sounds in their voice. So they are not only strictly in singing, they're utilizing a lot of variety in their voice. So they're imitating different instruments, they're imitating the beats, they're just also using a lot of speech quality like she is using here right now. So she's basically deriving a lot from the typical intonation in speech. Sometimes it is done a little bit like almost hyperbole. So basically it's not from the normal typical speech, but it's almost a voice acting. Yes, it's amazing. It's painting a whole new picture.
수많은 생물 중에 인간이라서 참 다행이야. 장난감으로 태어났다면 혼자 지키지도.
Exactly, it's so a little bit of what you would use in a normal speech, but a little bit hyperbole. A lot of fun. I like that he's using a little bit of a vocal flips here and there. He does look like if he would sing like solely on his own, I would expect a lot of cries, maybe a couple of hiccups, but definitely a lot of fluctuation with his pitch. You can hear that hiccup there. That sounds like an improv. Oh, I love it. That's so much fun. It's definitely, they're using a lot of embellishments from different genres all across the board. I do hear a lot of musical impact, and I hear a lot of also jazz and more of the very positive and fun jazz in this.
다시 또 들쭉날쭉하게 냈네요. 저희도 참.
Oh, I love their instrumentals. They're very
싶은 게 많아서
그니까요.
매년
storytelling. So sweet.
별 하나 있고 너 하나 있는 그곳이 내 오랜 밤이었어. 사랑이란 말이 머뭇거리어도 거짓은 없었어.
I love the tremble that she's using. So it is half air, half clean tone. So it's not entirely airy, but not really solid clean tone where you could get a little bit more solid vibrato through. But this type of like a little tremble, I've seen a lot of people using. For example, guys from B2B are using it massively, very often. And I'm a big fan because it's just such an emotional little embellishment.
넌 하나 있고 참 조용했던 그곳이 있어 어둠 속에서도 잠 이루지 못해 흐느껴 오는 너의 목소리
그대여
Such a soft approach to that higher tone. 나의 모든 목소리. So she didn't want to go into like a full-blown, very heavy head voice. So she gave it a little bit more air to soften it up. Also, I have to say that particularly in this song, their voices are so beautiful together. It might be also because both of them are going kind of like a half air, half clean tone, and just that little natural fuzz that it creates in their voices is just fitting so beautiful together.
지면 그저 곁에서만 있어도 행복했다는 걸 그 사실까지 나쁘게 추억 말아요 오랜 날 오랜 밤 동안 정말 사랑했어요 어쩔 수
Also, one thing that I really, really want to mention very, very fast, they are so beautifully synchronized. I've talked to many people who wanted to sing with their friends or just overall the bands that are trying to sing in sync perfectly. If you sing unisono or in harmony and you have a specific phrasing like ta, ta da 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 ta 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 ta, that has to be 100% perfectly in sync. The consistency in their phrasing is perfect. Like it's also why the final effect it's so good. It's because they are so 100% in sync. I think her gestures help a lot too. Like she's definitely the one that is more conducting. And he does follow her lead quite a lot. So if you think that she has this really sweet gesturing going on and it is more for the performance only, it is also to help them kind of come together perfectly in rhythm and phrasing as well. So pretty.
죄송합니다. 자, 이 노래
It's for example with those high tones. So imagine that one of them would hold it just a quarter of a second or half a second, not quarter of a second, longer than the other one. And the other one would go. It would be inconsistent. It's not a mistake. It's not bad, but the inconsistency would change the dynamic. So they have to be 100% consistent in being in sync with their phrasing and the length of the tones and with just completely everything. It's really, really, really incredible to see such a synced up duo. Outside of them being siblings, it's just
라이브 안 하기로 약속하는
Perfect.
노래는 지금까지 하고 있네요. 정말
진짜
언제까지
안시고
하려나.
달린다.
Dinosaur. A lot of you guys wanted me to hear this one. I do not know the song.
나의 옛날 동네 옛날 동네 판자빌라에
He has such a pretty husky voice. Oh my god.
내가 저 보순보순 잘 살고 있었네
화장실 문 밑에는 지갑하는 구멍이 매일 밤 뒤척거리시던 아버지 No problem 난 아무것도 몰랐거든 아직도 그때가
She has beautiful voice when she's singing in a clean one, but I like her dynamics. She does dose the air very, very well. She knows how to distribute it. She works with air as a softener, so if she wants to have a softer phrase, she doesn't want a belt. In higher tones, she is going to soften it up with air, or in the lower tones, she's going to use half and half. But this was more on a cleaner side, and you can hear how whimsical and brilliant her voice is when it's completely clean. It gets a little bit of a metallic quality. Very beautiful.
인생에 무서울 게 없었던 어리기만 한 나를 벌쩍 뛰게
yeah.
It is harder than you would probably expect. This is the heights that we've got. Also, if you remember the Psycho from Red Velvet, it's the same one. You have to have a lot of agility in your head voice to have a precision like this. This is also in quite a tempo, and it has to have a lot of precision in this. So you have to focus. It's not a particularly tough thing to do, but you've got to focus so it is precise. And this was also a little jumpy. It was not necessarily a staccato, but it was quite jumpy. There were short tones, so you have to be precise with your head voice there. It was a lot of fun though. I also like that dinosaur. It is in a little bit of a head mix. You can hear that it's not dinosaur. It's not a very airy. It's not a very airy head voice. Dinosaur. It has a little bit of a head mix potential. Dinosaur, dinosaur. You can hear it. It's sitting a little bit above the mix, so it's more of a head mix, but it's not a head voice. That was a cute song. A little bit of a riff at the end.
고생했어. 더 고생해줘.
고생 끝에 고생이다.
The mix is wild this time. Oh, I think I know this one.
내가 없이 혼자 걷는 널 바라본다. 옆자리 여전한 너의 풍경.
Oh, the tremble was beautiful. Oh, I got goosebumps.
뒤돌아본다.
Do you hear that tremble? That tremble is gorgeous and so beautifully, oh, so beautifully done. I cannot even do it on just like on the go like this. It's so, so, so pretty. Also, again, her dynamics and the way she works with her air is so, so, so pretty. So she's using this more of an introduction into the song. So you want a soft intro, you want a soft onset. This is more of a romantic, more balladic song. So we're gonna get some soft, subtle intro, but we don't have to whisper and we don't have to be full on air only. So this is a really good example of how to get a solid, soft intro without being completely just in air and nothing else, no other substance there. This is really, really nice.
어떤 힘든 일도 이별보단 버틸 수 있는 것들이었죠.
He matched her with also half air, half clean tone, more on the airy side. But when they collided with the voices, that was beautiful. AKMU is really genius in this. They're gonna give you her voice solo and you just kind of like really indulge in it because her voice is really captivating. And then all of a sudden, when you expect it the least, his voice joins in and it just gives you this electricity throughout the whole body. The vocal arrangement, again, I'm praising the vocal arrangement, is insanely beautiful. Beautiful harmony. Such a pretty song too. Now I know that why half of the K-pop industry are constantly covering AKMU songs, because they're just beautiful.
이번엔 오빠의 매력 발설 시간.
Good head voice from That was really nice.
이건 일종의 마지막 경고 같은 거야. 거창한 표현을 주겐 너무 가벼웠잖아. You were too close, 마음 아파.
Oh, now there's a little bit of a chest resonance coming through in the lower tones. You can hear the color really kicking in. I really like that for the fact that he is usually playing the second voice. He has quite a distinctive singing style. So I've heard him use a little bit of a vocal flips here and there. He does have this airy ends of the phrase. Ta-da-ta, ta-da-ta. You've got this certain, it's like a little bit of R&B-ish singing style. Again, for the fact that he's usually the second voice, he has quite a refined singing style. A lot of movement across the vocal break there, through the passaggio. It was cute. There was a lot of movement across the passaggio right into the head voice. So from the chest up in the head voice, but the vocal break was not very obvious. It's usually a stylistic choice if the singer wants to make the vocal break really obvious and cut right through it, or they want to make it really soft, the transition. They made it more on the softer side. It was really sweet.
드디어 최신곡에 가까워지고 있습니다.
I remember when this song came out. I think this was the first song that I've ever heard from AKMU.
Yeah.
I loved it.
말했잖아 언젠가 이런 날이 온다며 난 널 혼자 내버려 두지 않을 거라고 죄다 낭떠러.
It was quite a drop. Oh. The drops, the big drops like this can be really tough to control. You have to control your air and you have to control the pitch of the drop. You don't want to crash too low and you don't want to stay right above the pitch. Both would look and sound really, really bad. So the drop like this can be quite tricky.
예상했던 것보다 더 아플지도 모르지만 내 손을 잡으면 하늘 나는 정도 그 이상도.
A little switch in the head. You have to have a solid bass in that chest natural voice. And then that little flip into the head voice.
난 딱 감고 나가.
She's going quite high, but she's keeping her head voice very clean. So she's not going too airy into her head voice, so she can create a nice contrast to his voice that is creating that lower bass for this. But they are quite far away from each other in this particular song, in this part. They do not shy away to sing in unisono or very close in harmony together. And here, this song particularly has that wow effect because they are actually so far from each other. But for the contrast to really come through and be obvious, she has to keep her clean tone. Instead of... It wouldn't be that obvious and like good sounding if she would go with too much air. So she's very high, but she's keeping her tone very clean. Oh, I love this song when it came out. Oh,
저의 신곡을
gotta listen to it more.
되었어요.
2년 만입니다.
5, 4, 3, 2.
1. Lovely 아니고 lovely.
Okay, so this is the new song. Make sure you listen to it. Make sure you go and support the release. Go watch the official video. And yeah, let's enjoy. I haven't heard it yet, so I'm excited.
입니다.
Lovely.
사랑스러운 저희 이씨 남매를 표현한 곡이라고 할 수 있죠. You know 내 스타일이 아닌 음악을 들어도 You know 좋아하지 않는 음식을 먹어도
A lot of fluctuations into that head voice. So you want to keep a clean bass so you can jump into that head voice really effortlessly.
우산 없이 비가 와 홀딱 따져줘도 좋아.
Hey.
Oh, beautiful.
Because I love you.
Why? 우리 관계.
Oh, that's really high. If you do not do it in the correct amount of dynamics, that sound. You want clean tone, but you don't want to sound like a train. So imagine that. That wouldn't sound that good. So you have to be really careful into what kind of shape you create that tone there.
매일 봐도 처음같이 beginning 춤추고 싶어 우리 앞 우리 어깨 자유로운 날개치 구송이가 나를 삼킬걸 알면서 난 뛰어들었어 점점점점점
So lovely, they so lovely.
So this is a little bit more with that voice play, with that kind of coloring of a different sounds and just a little bit of an ad-libs here and there. This is what I love the most from them, even though I like the previous song as well. But this is what I think they are really brilliant at.
Our date with you so lovely.
Spell L-O-V-E-L-E-E 이름만 불러도 you can feel it
눈빛만 봐도 알면서 my love.
Good control over her vocal break there and a passage. So it's not entirely in her head voice. She's trying to press it a little bit down in the head mix. That's in the head voice. Those two tones are more in a head mix and pushed forward.
감사합니다. 지금까지 악뮤였습니다.
We're gonna get some additional with an extra. Yes, we will.
안녕하세요, 이수연입니다. 저 거위도 벽을 넘어 하늘을 나를 거라고
Oh, that was cute.
거친 바다 끝에 꿈을 둔다고 나도 꿈을 말고 꿈을 찾으래 어서 남의
Again, a lot of speech quality. So she's utilizing the natural intonation of speech to bring a little bit more of the storytelling vibe into the song. A lot of people do wonder how to really get those nice, relaxed verses that just hit so good. And this is how you do it. You get that storytelling feeling into the song by the speech quality. Utilizing the speech quality.
밀지 말아요 너의 구겨진 꿈을
A little bit of a switch in the head. Very similar to what she did in the previous song. So head voice into a little bit of a head mix. So pretty. working with quite a range here.
Flow, flow along, flow along my way. 난 차라리 안 눌러붙을래. 날 저촉한다면.
She's got quite a lot of movement in that upper tone, which is really, really cool because it's really hard to hit on its own. And then you've got a little bit of an agility. That was really nice.
따뜻한 밥 위에 누워처럼 Can I fry, fry 같이 나른하게 Fry, 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 fry 와서 인선 같이 하자. Come on.
We're getting more.
감사합니다. 그동안 지금까지
였습니다.
였습니다. 감사합니다.
They're cute.
Boys.
You've got to admit that. Good job. So, AKMU, people in the comments were really, really, really right. There should be an hour of this. It's so whimsical and beautiful, and their songs have so much charm and personality. I think that's the most lovable thing about AKMU, is their personality coming through in every single song that they do. I actually really, really enjoyed Lovely too. I've got to go and watch the entire video and hear the entire song and just get to know it a little better. But definitely go and support their release. And yeah, if you did enjoy this video, please don't forget to subscribe right here. Here's the video that YouTube actually recommends for you, and here is rest of my Korean videos. Please stay safe and healthy. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.